What's good, y'all? June Frey here alongside my bro. Welcome back to another episode of LTAI. And this is, what episode is this? 24. Jeez, you lose track. It's been, literally has been, a month. And some change.
Yeah.
Life has literally gotten away. Shit happens.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we try to remain consistent as possible, then that's all that matters. So, yeah. Literally just got off work, so please excuse my, I guess, semi-low energy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy 2 weeks. Had finals, you know what I'm saying? Like, my teacher definitely helped me out because your boy bombed that shit. But I still passed the class with a B. But yeah, I had finals. My teacher's a G. I won't name names, but she's the GOAT. Your boy was taking stats. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not Albert Einstein when it comes to math. If I'm looking at math, instantly I'm dyslexic. Instantly. So my dyslexic people, y'all know what I'm talking about. But nah, she was a real one. Got me through finals, got me through the class. So, you know, your boy is moving on up to the east side. So that's been going on with me. That's the reason why I've been MIA, but that's just not it.
For me, besides this podcast, kind of going MIA from this podcast for about a month and change. I guess for me, I've just been, just grinding and just focusing on my music. You know, I'm really pushing to get my mixtape out by my birthday. So we're already in May now, the beginning of May, and my deadline is in July. I don't even know if I should even be sharing this with y'all, but whoever even cares enough to listen to this podcast, you guys now know the insider. So I'm not sharing anything else on social media until what, next month maybe, or shit.
Do you have like a promo date, like a date, like the day you're gonna
July 16th. It's on my birthday's on a Friday, and then I'm planning on throwing a release, a release party the next day. So I'm excited, but at the same time, it's a lot of pressure because I'm not even 50% done with the tape yet. So it's a lot to deal with. But I'm quite excited. I'm very happy. Like I recently recorded this one song, which, man, I keep playing this shit every single day. And I think I shared it with you. It was
pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
I don't want to mention no titles yet, but it's that particular song along with Red Lights, and the way I had it, the song laid out, is exactly it.
It's kind of like a two-sided story.
That's
much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like you have the introduction, and then it goes into the next thing. So it's like how you have like the side A, side B songs, 2 tracks in one. I've always wanted to do that. And the fact that it came out so beautifully, I just can't wait for
it meshed pretty well.
Yeah,
I gotta say that it did mesh pretty well. Like it went in transition into the next song. So I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. When
that happened, but I was like, okay, I fuck with it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself because like the way the song came out, and I'm also very, very happy because I have 2 collabs on the way right now. I'm working on one. I think I played a rough draft with you just the other day. I have another one in the works, so I couldn't be any more happier, honestly. That's all I ever wanted. Besides just me having to put out my music for anyone to listen to, I just need people to be able to believe in me, and not only just listen to my music and just be like, hey, you know what, I want to work with you. So it's much deeper than that.
And it's crazy because technically we all make music. Like
my
sister makes music, true. I make music, you're making your music. So I think out of all of us, yours is probably the most awaited, and you're taking your time, which is actually pretty good. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, like it is the most awaited because you pretty much just said it. I'm not gonna reiterate it, but at the same time, it's like, damn, you already dropped the project. Ellie's on her 3rd.
I'm working on another one. See? But the thing is that you're taking your time, and that's what matters. Yeah. This project this time around, I'm gonna be taking my time. There's a lot of different vibes in there. You'll be on there. Alicia will be on there. Maybe. I think I have another collab on the side that'll be on there too. But it's gonna be wavy. Your tape. I'm really looking forward to it because I've been waiting for you to drop music like for a minute now. Like I mean, like seriously drop music.
I've said this to a couple of people too, bro. Yeah. Like I want you to understand this. When I share my music with people, I don't just share my music with just anybody. I share it with people who are literally gonna help me grow by offering me the best advice. Whether that I'm talking about like being like 100% real critique.
Yeah.
I don't want to just share this shit with just somebody who just says, "Oh, I like it." No, let me know what you like about it. Let me know what you don't like about it. There was something you mentioned just now. Yeah, for me, I'm taking my time with the project. But at the same time, it's like because of certain circumstances and shit like that, it's like, I'm literally just biting my nails because like, I'm closer to the deadline. But even with that, it's a highly anticipated mixtape. You pretty much just said it, bro. Do you remember way back when we used to stay out over in Maitland, bro? We were talking about like I remember I was 18 years old. This was 10 years ago, bro.
That was a long time.
And I've had this conversation with very few people. I was like, damn, I literally waited 10 years.
Things take time, though.
You're right.
I feel like, because sometimes you're not in the right headspace. You're not in the right place financially. You're not in the right place. Like, you don't meet the right people. You know what I mean? Like, at that time. So it's like, things happen for a reason. Absolutely. Like, for me, it's like, when I look at music, I'm understanding beat selections. I'm understanding different producers. I'm understanding, more into production than I think. I
think production is definitely key.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger than, when you're hearing a song with an artist. I say this all the time. I believe the producer is the true mastermind when it comes to making music, because they're the ones who help make the music, make the magic happen. Not necessarily saying that the artist isn't doing their part, but when you have the producer who's the engineer who's sitting back there, making sure they're mixing and mastering every single thing, tweaking all your vocals and shit like that. It's a tedious thing to do. It's not easy at all, It
really is.
And then being able to sit there in that same room and watching that same engineer, tweaking your vocals and, adding some extra shit to it, I think it's really magical. I think that's one of the best experiences yet. I think if anything, that's one of my biggest, or should I say my favorite parts of recording. It's not just me recording and having fun, but me having to sit there and watch the engineer just like do their thing and work their magic. And it's so crazy too, because like I told you when I was working with Ryan, shout out to Ryan, by the way, because he's fucking fire. He's also a musician. He besides just engineering, he also does music. And I would always tell him when I'm in the studio, I'm like, bro, you killed that shit. He said, nah, bro, you did that shit. You were in that booth and you did your thing. All I did was just throw some add-ons to it. You were the one who did that. It's really refreshing when you have to collab with somebody who is as humble and and understanding. But yeah, man, and
at this rate, you gotta go big or go home. You know what I mean? Like you gotta put your time into it, the work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't go to a studio. I record everything, on my own. It's not really more so. It's me building up to that point. Like eventually I'll get into a studio and work, but right now I think I'm learning. I'm a technical person, so I like to learn the ins and outs of something, so that way if I learn how to do it on my own, then I can respect it more if I watch somebody else do it, if that makes sense, like an engineer or something. So it's just more so like that. Like everybody's different.
You're teaching yourself early, right? Now. That's what it is. At some point, I would like to learn more of the logistics of the producer aspect of it. But I think for me, I'm having so much fun with, and if anything, I'm more concerned with trying to find my own sound when it comes to recording my music, because I have a lot of influences, here and there. I couldn't name any with you right now off bat, but I've been told from when I'm told so many different things from people. When I recorded Wave and I played it for musicians and producers, somebody was telling me that, oh yeah, I got a Chance the Rapper vibe, and I'm like, wow, that's different. I don't see that, but okay, thank you. That one song I recorded just recently with James, just recently, he was like, oh, Mick Jenkins vibes. I'm like, okay, I see that. That's crazy. I get so many different things. I've even heard from so many other people where it's like, yeah, listen, bro, you aren't in your own lane, because it's kind of hard to tell where you're at. But honestly, if I'm making music, it's basically influence. I'm influenced by the shit that I like, and I think any artist would attest to that as well. My entire idea, or the entire concept of the Dark Room Late Nights mixtape, which is what I'm dropping, is kind of like bringing back like that dope vibe from the, I want to say early, I'm thinking 2004 up until 2010, that era. I believe that was an amazing era of music, and if anything, it was a major shift in that music, that music era, because you at the time you had gangster rap, but then gangster rap was starting to slowly fade, thanks to Kanye with the Graduation album, and then you had Drake with the So Far Gone mixtape, who let people know, hey, you know, I never grew up, you know, about that
hood,
life. I never grew up in the hood, but I can show you that I can rap and I can sing my ass off. So, you know, artists like that, artists who stand out, I applaud them. I really do. And it's like, because I guess it's a way of me fitting into a space where it's like, okay, cool, you know, I can resonate with this artist, because, you know, there's certain artists who are, you know, who put out a lot of gangster rap, and I fuck with gangster rap, but it's like, that's not who I am. You know, how can I resonate with an artist like that? There's maybe a few
bits and pieces,
maybe bits and pieces, or a few aspects, whatever, but not wholeheartedly. You know, so yeah, man. And at some point, you know, and after Darkroom Late Nights, I really want to grow with more music, and I want to be able to not just rap or sing. I want listeners to paint a picture. I want them to see what I'm singing. I'm not just hear it. I want them to see that. I want them to paint the picture, and I want to be able to influence other people to be just as open, you know, and be as theatrical or cinematic. You know, that's why I look at artists when I look at Kendrick Lamar. One aspect of him is that he's very theatrical and very cinematic when I listen to his music, because sometimes his cadence and his voice, sometimes his voice ranges, and all that weird shit that you hear. Like when I heard to Pimp a Butterfly, that album, to me, it wasn't an album, it was a movie. It was something that,
to me, that's still his best work.
It is his best work. Anybody with ears and eyes can see that shit. You know, so I wasn't only able to enjoy the music through sound, I was able to paint pictures. I want people to literally activate all their other senses besides just their ears. You know, so
I feel that.
Yeah, you know, I'm excited. I really am, and I can't wait for this tape to drop. I'm not doing any features on there. I think there's only going to be one, because I need a female vocalist. But the next project, I'm definitely going to do features. Definitely going to do features, you know. This tape right here is my baby. And I'm thinking about wanting to at least release one music video out of that tape, at least one, and pretty much the song that I recently did. And I want that to be the teaser into as the introduction for people to say, okay, cool, stay tuned for Darkroom Late Nights, the mixtape, you know. So
good stuff.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much where my head's been at lately, you know. And other shit too, where things beyond the music, of course, with my main baby here, this podcast, you know. I want to say that I'm very, very proud of each and every one of us, you know. You, Rico, of the three of us, literally still being here and still growing from there, and even watching you guys on Sneaker Web on YouTube, you know. And
things going up.
And I even remember when we were having this conversation with Melly and Lydiana last week. Was it last week? I was saying about how proud I am of our generation, because we're this generation where it's like, we don't want to work for nobody. Fuck this 9-to-5 job. Let's figure out how we can turn our talents into something that is more of a business aspect while still having fun, you know. So
that's the thing. It's like, I know a lot of people probably feel like this, but it's like lately I've just been feeling like I'm not meant to work a 9-to-5. Like, it's just mentally, like I'm there. Like mentally I'm there, and I have so many ideas. Like I love fashion. Like I love clothes. You know what I mean? Like, just the other day, me and Lydiana were talking, and we talked about how we wanted to get a mini storage and start making clothes out of there, which is going to happen. We actually looked at some storages, and next thing we're going to do is look at materials. Like that's something that I've always wanted to do, and I want to fulfill that dream. You know what I mean? Like,
do you remember back when we were kids? We used to like
draw on t-shirts.
We do comic books and comic strips and shit, the little animations, and bro,
and I
like,
still do that shit.
It's fucking fire. Like, you know, we're able to take that from our childhood and still use that within our age right now. It's really dope, and I'm with you on that, you know. Besides just I've always said this, I want to be like the jack of all trades. I look up to people like Nick Cannon and Ryan Seacrest, who are who have their hands on so much shit. You know, they are producers, they're radio personalities, TV personalities, engineers,
because
whatever, movie stars. They're all that into one, you know. A multi-purpose I guess artist, maybe a multi-purpose celebrity.
I think
I don't want to say celebrity.
I don't know. I think as a person, you should never limit yourself to your abilities. And I feel like a lot of people, and the number one factor, and it was for me for a long time, it was fear. Like fear of failure, fear of not being able to accomplish what you set out to do. Because a lot of the times when you're younger, you think, okay, well, I'm gonna jump into this and it's gonna be successful off the bat, and then you get knocked down 2 notches and it's like damn, like where do I go from there? But I
want to say it's fear, but on my end, I want to say fear alongside with people who are in your ear and who will tell you, nah, no, don't do that. Like, for example, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna throw shade, but our parents, for example, I remember asking one of my parents, hey, how'd you feel if I said I want to become a rapper? They said no. So
I mean, Caribbean things and that, but
right, but guess
one
what
of those
now?
things.
But guess what now? A lot of artists who are young, their parents are supportive. But guess what? All that shit won't matter as long as your child is making money, right? Okay.
But I think it should be more than that. I think it should
agree.
I think it should be parents genuinely being there for the kids, not because they can go on TV and buy you a Lambo or buy you a Mercedes. It's like caring about their dream beforehand goes a long way. You know what I mean? So
I was watching something with is his name Iman Shumpert, the one who's with Tiana Taylor.
Taylor.
He was talking about how and I kind of want to do this when I have children. He was saying that if my kid is not ready to go to college yet, I'm not gonna waste money. If he says he wants to do something different, let him. Even as a kid, as a child, if my kid says they want to do this, and I'll be like, okay, cool, do whatever you want to do whatever makes you happy, as long as it's illegal.
Open possibilities. Just don't go out here trying to be Scarface.
Please don't.
Buying drug rings and stuff.
I don't want a replica of the world is yours type of
because if I see that on your desk,
all right,
I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, man, like I'm snitching. I'm sorry.
I'm snitching, bro.
You ain't finna hide in my
facts.
house.
You ain't coming in here
with the feds knocking on
the door, because I'm coming out looking like Stevie Wonder, like I can't see you.
Huh?
I don't know where you are. I don't even know how this door opened. Like on some real shit, but I think I believe that's very important. Like when you have your kids, that's the most important stage in a kid's life, right?
Of course.
When they're young, their brain is like developing and they're growing and they want to experience life. Like life is bigger than how you see it for them. So it's like, why would you stifle that? Like, why would you push that down? Like a kid is meant to be creative. That's why a lot of kids, the most successful people in our generation are people that their parents allowed them to explore, allowed them to see different avenues, like grow and say, okay, you want to do art? Okay, cool. Let me support you in what you want to do. Even though your kid is like 5, 10 years old, whatever, having that supporting role and having that parent saying, okay, whether you have one mom or one dad or both parents, it's like, as long as you have someone to support your dream, I think that's very important, because a lot of the times people don't realize their dreams before it's way too late.
And that's where I still struggle with today. I'm 28 years old. I know people try to remind me, hey, you're still young, this, that, and the third.
In retrospect,
true,
you are.
Which is true, but then it's like I can't help but compare to other people who start blowing up.
But see, that's your mistake, because you have to also understand, a lot of people who did blow up, like a lot of people who genuinely blew up like later in their careers, it took them years. Like Chadwick Boseman, dude, it was almost in his late 30s when he became something. And sometimes it takes time. Like sometimes you have to find your niche or find your craft or find your exit point.
And DMX, I know DMX, may God rest his soul, he was 27 when he finally blew up. Jay-Z was also 27. I think Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, he was 31 when he finally blew up.
So things take time. Like some people you have to grit and grind to get to where you want to be.
E40 is old. But then after the Tell Me When to Go, before Tell Me When to Go, he was putting out a whole bunch of music, so many mixtapes. He's like, whoa, yo, we finally here. I'm like, damn. So I guess it's never too late.
Never.
And from back in the day, I was like, sometimes I get so mad at myself where I'm like, shit, like I literally waited an entire decade to literally put out this whole music shit, and
I feel you.
It was fear that held me back, and also worried about what my parents would think, where it's like, oh, what if they're gonna judge you, or because when you have parents who are from a foreign nation, right? Their expectancy of their
now,
child
not every foreign parent is like that. There are very
many,
very like supportive foreign parents that would say, you know what,
Yeah.
I grew up with that, you know what I mean? Or some of them will say, I didn't grow up with that, so I want you to have the space to
flourish
do what
and
you
do
want to
better,
do.
right? But for some of the parents are like, oh well, I want my child to be either be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, and it's like all that is cool too, but it's like I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in doing any of that. That's just me personally.
Yeah. There are some people in this world that is their life's philosophy.
Yeah.
Like their philosophy is to be a doctor, a lawyer,
yeah,
whatever. Like personally to me, I'm studying to be a psychologist. I genuinely do like to, psychology, but that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that's just me being honest. Like I love art. I love gaming. Like I'm starting a gaming channel soon. Like that's stuff that I've always wanted to do, but I was always too afraid to do it because I never felt like I would be accepted doing it, or like my parent, like I'm not gonna quit my job and go do this, but like I feel like when you mention those kind of things to your family, like you get pushback, and it's like instead of like, oh well, why would you want to do that when you can be a doctor? And it's like, okay, but being a doctor is honestly, it's tough on the mind. Like you have to be mentally strong. I mean, not saying I'm not mentally strong, but if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, even that is a grind. Even that you have to grit and grind. And sometimes out the gate, if you don't do well out the gate,
you'll be under so much heat.
You have to change course, because there's like sometimes, like to be a lawyer, for example, you have to have a certain type of credentials by the time you reach your second year of college in order to even be fit to get into a graduate school, to take the bar exam, yada yada, unless you're operating independently.
Right.
And that on its own is tough because you have to build your own clientele.
Of course.
Instead of working for Morgan & Morgan down the street.
Right.
So it's like there's so many steps to everything. Why would you want to continue those steps and you're not happy?
Yeah.
I would prefer to struggle and do what I got to do in something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Get underpaid to reach my goal.
Yeah.
And reap the benefits later.
Yes.
Indeed.
And that's what I definitely see in all of us. The fact it really is so mind-boggling how we have our hands on so much shit. We got the podcast, we got the music, we got the YouTube channel. You're into gaming, we're both into fashion. It's a lot that we want to do. And I've always said this, and if I remember from the previous 2 episodes, I want to cool, I want to have money. I like making money. I love making money. I want to wake up knowing that I have a substantial amount of money in my bank account where I can just get up and say, okay, you know what? I feel like going on vacation within the next 2 months. I'm going to take a vacation. Or knowing that, you're constantly going to keep getting paid doing what you love.
I mean, personally, I think for me, money is okay, but I feel like it's loving what you're doing that means the most to me. Because I think when you get up in the morning, you don't have to report to anybody. You set your own tone for the day, and you get up and you keep at it every single day the way you want to do it. You don't have to go and clock in at somebody's, because that person that you're clocking in for, they're not happy in their own space sometimes. And sometimes, you can see that, and it reflects on the workplace and everything. So it's kind of like, damn, like I don't want to deal with that for the rest of my life.
Even not even to mention the fact that when you work under somebody, keep in mind you're replaceable. Yeah. At any point in time.
In every aspect.
Yeah, for sure. So I've told you many stories about how I get frustrated sometimes, when it comes to work, or even anything that was the result of work,
But I think ultimately what I used to do before, like when I used to work and stuff, I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna come home and I'm so tired. Like working in anything medical, this, it's literally it tires your mind out. It makes you not want to do a damn thing when you get home. Like me, I have so many ideas in my head. From when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, when I get home today, I'm going to work on some art. When I get home today, I'm going to work on some music. When I get home today, I'm going to make these logos. Because I have a bunch of logo ideas in my head. I'm working on some things for Alicia's project that she's working on. I won't disclose it yet because it's pretty big for her. It's just a bunch of different things that I'm putting my hand in. But then as soon as you get off of work, you are drained of all that energy.
That's facts.
It's like you don't feel like how you felt in the morning.
That's facts.
You don't feel like, okay, as soon as I get home, the first thing I want to do is lay my big ass in bed.
Bro,
that's all I want to do.
That was literally me last week.
Like
I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get started with writing down some more ideas for for my the second podcast I told you I'm working on, bro, because I came from work drained as hell, agitated, tired. And then it's like sometimes you feel as if you're wasting your own time.
Exactly.
And you get so upset because you feel like you didn't reach that accomplishment, you know, because of something else that got in the way of that.
If you put it into perspective, when you get off work, because I go to work at 9 a.m. I get off work usually 4:45, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And when you put it into perspective, you only have technically, realistically, from the time that you get off of work to go to bed, you only have 5 hours in the day left. Unless you're a late sleeper like me, I usually go to bed at 1 because I have this mindset where I try to savor the day until it's really over.
Yeah.
And then I, start over again. Like, and it's mind-boggling that you only get that much time to yourself after you work from Monday through Friday.
But guess what else? Those 5 hours go by quickly.
Yep. Before you know it, it's 12, it's 1 o'clock, it's time for work tomorrow.
Okay, next day.
And, sometimes I'll be laying in bed and I'm up till late and, I'll be bothering Lydiana like, oh, let's watch a movie, let's work on some stuff, let's do whatever. And she'll be dead tired. Like, she's like, yo, it's 11, 12 o'clock. She's like, why you still want to be up? And I tell her, I'm like, we work all the time. She's a site manager, I do a lot of stuff with HR. So it's like, it gets busy on both of our ends. So we have to almost find time to spend with each other. And I always tell her, I'm like, I try to savor the day. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as, oh, the day's almost over, whatever time I have left of the day, I try to grind it out. Like, I try to either, if I want to clear my head, I'm like, okay, there's a game I want to finish. Yeah. So I go and I finish that game. Yeah. Or try to finish it. Yeah. There's a piece of art or whatever that I want to work on.
And it's the best feeling ever when you make those accomplishments, and it may not even be something that is as colossal, right? It could be something as minuscule as that, something as simple as for you said it's finishing your art. For me, for example, it's finishing a song. So like, for example, if I finish writing a song, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready. Or if I go in the studio and I know exactly how I want to do shit and record, and the song is done straight, right, that the song is mixed and mastered, it's ready to go. That's a major accomplishment for me, So
it's like getting those things done that means a lot. And frankly, I think, I'm changing my mindset this year. Last year technically was supposed to be my year. Like, I had things planned ahead. I think
2020 was actually a lesson, that was a year of lessons.
It was like, I had trips planned out. Like, we had like three trips planned for the year, I think 2020, and that was the most I'd ever done, because I told myself I want to branch out and see more places, and sometimes I want to see places with you guys, like my family, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't get to go to a lot of places when we were younger, you know what I mean?
Absolutely not. But we have that opportunity to do that.
We do, and I feel like that should be on our list too. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I like going on trips with Lydiana and whatever, but it's family trips that mean the most, because you get to bond, you get to see places together as a family. So it's like, those things to me are important too. But, I had so many ideas last year, the gaming thing I wanted to do last year. There was so many things I wanted to do. Then my laptop broke, and last year was just not a good year. Like, my job laid me off. Like, I had so much shit going on, and it was bad. Like, I think I slipped into a depression, and like, I gained weight. That shit sucked. Like, it was just bad. And I think ultimately, I'm just saying, like, it put me in a really bad headspace, and I hadn't been in a bad headspace like that in a very, very long time. And I think I told myself towards the end of 2020, when things started getting back to normal for me, it was like, 2021, no bullshit. Like, we have a marker board in our room, and we write down our accomplishments. And one of my accomplishments was to leave SSC, and that was something I did this year. So I crossed that off the board. And then we have a few things like starting the gaming channel, go traveling, go do whatever, just to kind of have a visual of your goals. Because it's like, when you have a visual of what you want to do versus keeping it in here, you keep it in here, but then it tells you, you're like, oh no, I'll do it tomorrow.
Or you forget it.
So we've gotten to a habit of, and it's not even just things we want to do, it's reflections on ourselves that we write down on the board.
Absolutely.
Like communication, or like, sleeping earlier, or feeling better about, getting things done.
Taking a mental health day.
there are some jobs that are implementing that.
I take plenty of
mental
those.
health days. I can't, unfortunately, because I'm one of few people in my area that do what I have to do, which sucks. But I agree with you. There should be days where people should be given at least once a month. Give people a mental health day.
Oh, of course.
At least
I
once
think
a
they
month.
should incorporate that for real. They need to really incorporate that.
Yeah. There's literally some countries that pay you to literally take a mental health day.
But it's like, but you know, in many foreign countries, which is very true, because I learned this from Spanish class back when I was in elementary, right?
Vastly different.
Very. And what often happens is, I don't think this happens here in the States, but what often happens is people would either be at work or at school, right? By the time it's 12 noon, 11 a.m., no one's in school, no one's at work. Everyone's at home eating, chilling for about an hour or two.
2-3 hours.
Yeah, 2-3 hours, and then they go back to work and go back to school, you know? And I think maybe we should, adopt that in a way. I don't know. But you mentioned something that kind of struck me in a way about, I guess, us going back to normal after 2020. I think if anything, 2020 didn't necessarily teach us about waiting on things to go back to normal by itself, but if anything, us having to create our own means of normalcy.
Yeah.
So I guess making things go back to normal by ourselves. Creating certain regimens in order for us to be comfortable, where we're able to motivate ourselves. To do a lot better, or whatever the case may be.
And I think motivation is usually the goal. I think that's the one thing that stifled me the most was motivation.
Yeah.
And I think, being back at home and not doing anything, like not being able to do anything.
Yeah.
You would think in that situation you'd be more creative and you'd be more whatever. Nah, that was the time, like, I couldn't write music. Like, I had writer's block. Like, I had so many, like, drawing, even for drawing and doing art and digitally drawing shit, I had no ideas flowing through my head. Like,
you got to get out. You got to find your place of seance. Yeah. My place, and this is the truth, my place, I don't like to write music in the house.
Yeah.
Or unless if like something pops in my head and I write it down. But for me, I like to go outside in the car and enjoy the night. I do this preferably at night, and I'm writing music, and I kid you not, that shit flows right out.
It's crazy because Alicia, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
Alicia writes music taking a shit sometimes. And she says that's where she's most comfortable.
The bathroom, listen, the shower and the toilet. There's something about that. You know what I'm saying? If you in the shower, you thinking some crazy shit, it's like, oh shit. My
ideas come when I'm working. Like when I'm working and I have little sticky notes, I'll like write lyrics on there and then I'll take it home with me because I'm like,
okay.
Because like I'll be working, but I'm listening. Like as I'm working, I get to listen to music at work. So I just listen to beats while I'm at work while working. So then I'm like, oh shit, this is fire. Like, and I'll write to it on my sticky notes so I don't forget.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that. When I was at my other job, and it was early in the morning, and technically we're not supposed to have phones around us, but
nobody gets down.
I swear, bro, like these lines were popping in my head, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Let me just grab my phone and just start writing this shit down, because if I forget it, that's it.
Yeah.
I've been through that before.
I can't even tell you how many hooks I have on my phone written, bro, because I'm just like, I
have a whole bunch of free verses,
just like, writing.
And
it's like, it's crazy. It's just crazy how that works out. But I think ultimately, we're putting ourselves in the right direction.
Of course. And for anybody who cares to even listen to this, the title of my mixtape is called Dark Room Late Nights, and it's heavily influenced by literally what I do at night in the dark. Whether sometimes I could be in the dark room or picture myself in a dark setting, because that sets the mood for me. That's my type of mood. I like things to be dimmed. I like, darkness in a positive light, not positive way. You know what I mean? But
no Satanism shit.
No, none of that, none of that dark shit. But it's like, I like that because it's a calming mood for me. So because of that, I'm able to get that vibe, and I just start writing music, and boom, I got a hook, or I'm finishing a verse, or boom, the song is done. So, and that's where Dark Room Late Nights came from, because of my surroundings. I'm in the car, or just looking at, I didn't say this to you. I was with Reggie and James when we pulled up to their boy E's house, Eddie's house. It's kind of like in a cul-de-sac. And I was like, because for me, I like taking pictures of certain things that look like, that's like kind of like nature. So that's my forte. So I was like, damn, I would literally take a picture of this and probably use that as a single for something. I don't know what it is yet, but maybe for a single. for me, I don't want to just like a regular basic ass, you know, cover art. You know what I mean? I want something that I feel like I can resonate to, you know. But yeah, it's a little different, but you get where I'm coming from with this shit, you know. So yeah, motivation is real important. You know, you gotta find your own ways on being motivated, you know. So, and then another thing that I've learned is how, which is very true, you know, when it comes to supporting, right? A lot of strangers will support your shit more than people that you are very close to. But in some cases there are people that you're close to who will root you on. But it's like, for me, I can't say that I like to share any music with just friends. I want to share it with people that I know have that mindset of giving me what I need, you know, whether it be friends who are musicians or even strangers who have been rooting for me since day one. I'm like, yo, let me know what you think. And when people give me their feedback, like, I greatly appreciate it. Like, if people say like, oh, well, the background music, the background vocals, you might want to tweak that, or you don't need it at all. Like, I like to hear that. So that way, you know, if I'm listening to the song over and over again, I can see if there's something wrong with it, or if there's nothing wrong with that, just leave it alone. You know, but yeah, man, I totally agree with you 100%, man. Motivation is something very, very important that we all should take seriously, because you know, if you feel like you're unmotivated, or if you don't find ways to motivate yourself, then you're gonna remain complacent for a very long time.
Because there's a lot of times, most recently, you know, we're going to Denver. You know, Denver, you say, why go to Denver? But Denver is like someplace I've never been. You know what I mean? Like, it's somewhere new. You know, you get to experience different things, different parts. Like,
absolutely.
And I think that's the most important thing. Is like gearing up to do it. Is just do it. Like, I feel like I'm in more of a just do it attitude lately versus just like sitting there and kicking my feet up like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, that was me last year or years before that. Like, I'm that kind of person. Like, I'll have ideas, I'll have a structure, everything, and then I'll just flat out say, okay, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. And then once it gets close to the time that I was supposed to do it and I didn't do it, I kick myself in the ass, because it's like, oh, now I'm mad with myself because I should have done this in the first place. Or I see the idea that I had and somebody else takes it. And it's like, then I have to start back from square one and keep doing it. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of saying let's do it over and over again, just do it. And that's it. And stop worrying about what other people think. Stop worrying about, you know, your fears or whatever, because your greatest fear is what holds you back.
Even forget you know, I guess comparing yourself to social media, you know.
I think social media is a biohazard for piquing your motivation. And I think the problem is that
I don't want to say it's social media by itself, just social media. I think what happens within social media,
I think there's it's almost like a competition amongst other people to one up the other person. But
when that's not even the case.
That's not even the case. But it's like,
but it's inevitable to the point where it's like, oh damn, this person got a crib. Damn, meanwhile I'm still living here with my mom, or I'm still living with my roommates.
Here's the thing though, right? I've learned, because I used to think that way too. I've learned to separate reality from social media, because a lot of the times you see people on there with fast cars, or designer bags, or a 10-story house, and then you look at you look at the analytics, and it's like, that car is rented, that bag is sponsored, that house, they don't even own it, so it's like it's Airbnb, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so much cap online that it just makes you, it does make people depressed, because it's like, damn, my life sucks. You know, I was watching something the other day about modeling on Instagram. So you know how those models, they go to these beautiful places like Cancun, and you see them on the little beach, the little whatever. So I'm watching this girl. She's a social media person or whatever. She literally shows up. She goes on the little beach, takes her little bikini photos or whatever, and she takes a plane back home. She didn't even get to enjoy the resort that the beach was being shot at. She didn't even know where she was gonna sit. Like, they just took her in, a few shots, back home. And it's like, you don't get to enjoy the aspect of your environment. But on Instagram,
that's what people
see. She's at this beautiful place, and shows her like touching the water and all this stuff, and you're like, damn, I wish I could be there, whatever. And you're sitting at your desk looking at this on Instagram, and it's like, you have to separate that from your own reality, because that person, that is a job. That's their job.
Yeah.
Some people do live that kind of lifestyle, but
people don't necessarily know what's behind that post.
But a lot of people, you're right. And then I saw another one where these people were taking pictures in a private jet, but it turns out it was just a set. Like literally, it was
Bow
a
Wow
set
challenge?
cut in half. Like it didn't even have a head to it. It had like
Bow Wow challenge.
Legitimately, this was like Bow Wow challenge times 10, and like the only difference is that he had people waiting hand and foot. Bow Wow was in basic economy, like. My guy was in basic economy flexing for no reason, bro.
Exposes that,
like,
bro,
damn.
Like,
and you know what's crazy, bro? You know what's crazy about that? As I always say, like, no matter what you do, there's always somebody watching. You. There's always somebody watching you. Like, you posted that on your feed.
Flexing
that person just
gram.
happened to follow you and like, wait a minute.
Flexing on the gram.
This nigga in basic just like me.
What?
Like, what the fuck?
What you mean? Let's catch it from this angle.
Like,
so this is what y'all missed.
Like, damn. And then TMZ had like 5 different angles of this. I'm like, bro, what? Sheesh. And it became this big story. And, you know, obviously he tried to cushion the blow by marketing it and saying, oh, the Bow Wow challenge. And it's like, nah, bro, you're capped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got caught in 4K.
Stop the cappery.
Yeah, please. You got caught in 4K. And now you have to, you know, deal with what you're a meme basically now. You're no longer Bow Wow. You're just a meme.
It's just funny to me, man.
But it's like, it's stuff like that it's and that's just the reality of it. It's like, even as a celebrity, they have to keep up with the cap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to constantly keep up with the cap.
It's an image you have to uphold.
And it's toxic. Like, that shit to me is toxic.
Not me. I couldn't do that. Like, you know, if I ever became famous, like, I will be the most unorthodox.
I probably wouldn't even post on social media.
Honestly, I would like rather go out and enjoy nature and go out in life. Yeah. You know, do some shit like brother Nature's doing, I guess, before he got his ass jumped. Yeah. But
even that fame got to his head, but that's whatever.
Yeah, low key.
But ultimately, I think, you know, there has to be a point in time where people like distance themselves from that kind of stuff. Like, even me, I don't get on social medias unless it's something funny. Yeah. I'm looking for funny shit, but I'm not looking for niggas posing in front of cars or posing with money. Like, I don't care about that.
But you know what? I can also understand as to why many artists are on some mysterious type shit, right? When you see their social media accounts, right? It's only one post, or just none at all, or sometimes they just delete everything. You don't see anything, right? And I see where it's coming from, because social media is a major distraction. Mm-hmm. And speaking of distractions as well, I was thinking about how, I don't know if it was Jamie Foxx. I think he won a Grammy, or if not more, or Oscars or some shit like that. He was mentioning to some person who was interviewing him that, you know, when it comes to the Oscars, I store it away someplace where I won't see it, because I don't want to allow that shit to get to my head. Where it's like, oh, well, you know, no matter what, look at me, I won an Oscar, or I'm a Grammy award-winning artist, whatever, you know. So as an excuse to not even want to continue moving forward and growing as you know, as an individual.
I think a lot of times people let a lot of stuff get to their head.
For sure.
It's crazy, because it's like you want to accomplish what they're accomplishing, and you want to be able to say, okay, like, this person has the fame, the money, the cars, whatever. But look at Demi Lovato. Like, she had all the money in the world. She had all the fame in the world.
It was the fame.
And she still ended up finding the spoon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know, none of that matters. It's all just worldly things. Like, it's just stuff to make your life a little bit easier.
And let's be honest with, you know, like, when I see a lot of artists, and I understand it's an image you have to uphold. I guess I'm gonna go with rappers.
You know what though?
With embellishing themselves, but you're not gonna die and take none of that shit with you.
I learned that a lot of labels, if you don't flex as an artist, they drop you. Like, when you sign that contract,
depending on which artist you portray yourself as.
Like, literally, here, I think, I don't remember what artist it was, but it was like they got an advance after they signed a contract with their label. Yeah. The label basically told them, you have to spend that advance. You cannot hold it. And basically, they ended up spending it, and then they said, okay, use that money to go on Instagram and grow your Instagram by flexing. And it's like, it's like almost like it's in your contract, like required for you to do that. So some people,
but I mean, when you're signed to a label, you're practically an investment. You're an investment to these higher ups, to the A&Rs.
That's
and all
crazy.
of them.
You should be an investment to yourself and not to somebody else, because
Right.
technically you're still working for somebody.
Hence, many artists, you know, saying fuck these labels and just going independent, or inking distribution deals, or you know, where they're still able to own their masters while still putting out, you know, music from their catalog, or even strengthening.
The only
catalog.
difference is they have to pay for everything.
Yeah, of course.
So
you know, and a lot of times it's the show money, the merch, and even endorsements. If you're lucky with endorsements, then you straight. Look at Yachty.
Yachty
dude
is
straight.
a marketing genius,
right?
Man.
You know, so that's what it always boils down to, for sure.
Yeah,
you know,
motivation is the key, though.
Absolutely.
I think ultimately, once you get that down, I'm still working on it. You know, just like how everybody else is working on it. But
you're always gonna be a work in progress.
Yeah, and once you get that down, sky's the limit, man. And that's how I'm looking at everything now. It's like sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So
you know, I've said it before, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate it. 2020 was definitely the year of lessons for me, and you know, it was definitely a wake up call for me, where it's like, okay, you know what, I gotta get my ass up and start doing something, because you know, I'm looking at my age right now, and I look at other people who, you know, are older than I am and still have nothing, literally nothing, you know, for themselves.
But that all boils down to, do they want it bad enough? And if you want it bad enough and you want something bad enough, it'll always work out for you. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. A lot of people that are famous, a lot of people who are musicians, a lot of people, and personally for me, I don't give a shit about fame. Like, I could care less for fame.
I care about the money, where I want to be able to take care of myself and use things with that.
I just want to be happy doing something I enjoy, regardless if it makes me a lot of money or not. If it gives me opportunities, then I'd be even more happier with that. For me, money is money. Money is what makes the world go round, so I get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it boils down to happiness for me, like being happy to wake up in the morning and do what you want to do, and have a team of people like supporting you, and you know, and not looking at it from just a money standpoint, but like from a goal standpoint, like where do you want to do and continue and have it roll over, you know, over time. So I think that's really important.
And then I think for me, it's just me not having to worry so much about my age, thinking that I'm like a late bloomer. I do my best to remind myself, you know, there are many people out there who have literally blown up at a later age. Not necessarily saying that will be me, you know, whatever, because who knows. But
it does happen though.
True. And I mean, look at this one this one guy who blew up on YouTube, Kevin Samuels. He's 51 years old, and you know, that one video, the average at best video that he released not too long ago, that's what blew up. And guess what? Everybody else started seeing all the other videos that he had from the past, and even up until recently. You know, so you know, age should not.
Age is what you make it. If you make it about your age, then that's how it's gonna be perceived. Yeah. So I think personally, everybody has a timeline, and I always tell my parents this too, like our parents, that everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own timeline. Like, not one thing that worked for somebody else is gonna work for you.
Exactly.
So I just wish that can be resonated with a lot more people, because there are a lot of people who do that. They make it about like, oh, why is this person doing this and you're not doing that? It's
a comparison.
Or like, this person is a doctor, or this person just graduated, and this person just did this, and it's like, bro, like,
TikTok that we saw.
Which one? The one with the African person? He's like, what? Oh yeah, because the boy graduated at 12 and you're like 20.
Look at you, 12 years old. What are you doing?
No, that's like the epitome of a lot of African parents. Some African parents are very
you know what's,
they're very supportive. But there are just some other ones that are just like, they don't care what you have going on. They're like, if you don't graduate and be
you're a loser.
A biochemist that's able to discover the cure to cancer, then I don't want you back in my house. And although that does make some people successful, that drives them to success.
That's bad.
It doesn't work for everybody.
That's terrible. People, Asian kids are committing suicide because of their parents.
Hey, that's facts though.
Okay,
that's facts though.
That's bad. What's even worse is.
But why do you think, real quick? Why do you think schools like MIT have high suicide rates?
Because it's the high expectancy from parents. It's the pressure. And I really wish parents would stop doing that shit and just let kids just be kids and let them figure out what the hell they want to do, instead of you having to live their life. You know,
I feel like if a lot more parents were supportive of their children, there would be more creative geniuses in this world, probably. Because I feel like it all boils down to that.
Do you think maybe 9 to 5 jobs will probably be almost non-existent? Maybe.
I do feel like there has to be people that do those jobs though. And there are people that are content with doing them. There are some people who don't care to be creative and who don't care to do all that extra stuff on the side. They just want to do their 9 to 5, get their check, and go home. Yeah. And that's fine.
That's cool.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I would never discredit somebody for doing that.
Yeah.
It's just me within myself. I just know that eventually that's not something I want to do over time. And that's where my happiness comes in. I'm more happier when I'm freely doing something that I like to do and I'm seeing the progress. That alone, to me, progress is amazing. Like in the music, for example, when I was doing my first tape or whatever, I had,
by the way, I shared my favorite song on IG last night when I was at work.
Yeah,
I was actually had your song on repeat. Ferrilla, that's my favorite song. And then I said, it's just he's got Browns on repeat.
It's just a lot of like,
I had to share it, and I did the same thing. I was like, you know what, I feel like sharing shit. Like, let me just share some shit. Let people know, hey, don't sleep on whatever. But
yeah,
no, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's just it's like when you get to the music and like down to numbers or whatever. When I put out the first mixtape, like my average was like, I think my highest average song is like 1,100 something. I don't even know. I didn't check. And then I put out the single and then the slide single, and then now it's almost at 4K. And like, that was like something I didn't imagine. Like, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna put this out. If it gets plays, it gets plays. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I'm cool. Like, I was willing to put in the extra work, which 3.5K or 4K doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people.
That's a lot to me, to a nobody like myself.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm like a nobody. Like, and then you have Past that me and Alicia made a long time ago, like two years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
It just hit like 14,000 listens. Like, I'm like, bro, my mind is blown, because like 14,000 people actually listen to this.
It's the small victories that matter, man.
I'm telling you. And it's like crazy. Like 2 years sounds like a long time to reach 14K, but it's
just imagine somebody who spent 9 years before blowing up, or somebody who spent over a decade before they blew up.
Yeah, like Lizzo put out hella music.
And
like,
guess what? Right when she was about to quit, she blew up with Truth Hurts.
That was crazy. Like, I look back at the songs.
That one made it it made on the soundtrack for
the movie.
That one movie with Gina Rodriguez in it.
It was like a 2017 thing, and it was like, damn, like, that's crazy. But that just goes to show that life is unexpected,
Yeah, you're right.
But that's just what it is.
Also, another thing, I'm gonna need parents to stop having to compare their their nieces and nephews.
Yeah, let's not do that
to their kids. Like,
let's not do that
shit out. Like,
it really kills their motivation, and it really kills their ambition to do stuff. Like, don't do that.
It's so tasteless and disgusting, man. Like,
let's just stop doing that. Like, let's be more supportive of our kids, and let's be more let's be more interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, and if anything, I can't stress this enough. Stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
All right. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Stop worrying about what your family members doing. Stop worrying about what your friends doing.
Because it's not a race. It's not a race for whose child can be the best. Because even the people who do the best have the biggest problems.
Oh,
so
speak on it.
So let's all just be supportive.
You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. Let's really just be supportive. Because just because Jimmy is 12 years old in an Ivy League school, doesn't mean Jimmy ain't stressing, and he taking you know what I'm saying? He taking hella pills just to stay awake. And study.
Chest pains at 12 years old.
At 12 years old, boy gonna have a large heart by the time he's 18. So we out here, let's be supportive of people. Let's inspire other people's dreams. Let's not knock each other down. Please, like, when other people are doing their thing, applaud them. Be happy for them. Don't come to them when they have success. Don't do that, because then you're just gonna get the door.
Could you repeat that one more time?
The door.
Yeah. So that's word to Zoe. Repeat that, please, for the deaf people in the back.
Do not come to a person when they are successful, because when that person reaches that success, all they're going to remember is how shitty of a person you were to them the entire time when they were working. So ultimately, I think the most important thing is, while these people are here, while they are grinding, be a part of the progress. I love being a part of the progress. I say that with Rico, and I say that with you. I would not be here doing either things with you guys if I didn't believe in a process. If I was one of those people,
or even grow somehow.
Growth is important. I mean? So it's like, when you
gotta surround yourself with people who's gonna help you grow. Period.
Right. It's like, you have to be that person that's there for growth. Some people are just there. There's like, oh, they're there to give me my check. Where's my check? Like, and
give me my money.
Like, it's just like, okay, cool. Money's a thing, but we have to figure out where exactly we want to be and what process it takes to get there.
I agree.
And I think more people should be like that. That's just what it is. But yeah, you foreign parents, man, you guys gotta cut that shit out, man.
Yeah, I can't, man. I think even on my end too, it's like there was literally a post that I literally posted yesterday too. It was something, I guess, the grind versus the congratulations. You know, where you by yourself, and then the other side of the slide,
it's like bittersweet.
Yeah, it really is. You know, and it's like I would never treat anybody. You know, if you didn't support me or you just didn't care enough, that's fine. I'll just keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Yeah, but please just don't come to my doorstep. Tell me, hey, you remember me?
Don't come to my graduation.
I'm gonna give you a really big fuck you.
Don't
do that.
Don't do that. When you see the money coming through, don't do that.
I agree.
But yeah,
I see what you did.
But yeah,
Rico, that was well done. Well done.
To wind that one up, just give him the middle finger. You know what I'm saying? Like just for the one time, because some people, they be capping, bro. They be capping. They be seeing that, they be like, wow, man, I believed in you since I was what? Since I was what?
Can't even name my first single.
You can't even like dead ass. There are people. It's like, bro, you were not with me shooting in the gym, bro. Like, I literally started off as a level 60 with no badges, bro.
You were in the mud.
I was a level 60 2K character with no badges, bro. Brown shirt and all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was not out here when I was breaking these shots.
You had on the stock clothes,
bro. I'm telling you, the stock clothes, the 2K generic sneakers, bro. You were not out here with. I'm telling you were not out here when I was getting beat up by 7-1 basketball players with level 98. Like, bro, you weren't there, bro. Like,
and that's what it boils down to, yo. That's what it is.
That's it. Motivate, support, and that's it. Like, that's the most important thing. Indeed. You know.
And by the way, we're not gonna do what's on the playlist segment. I'd have to say this was.
I have two things that I want to say about the music thing real quick.
Go for it.
AJ Tracy just put out an album. What is it called? It's a Chicago Bulls inspired front album cover. This is his most latest project.
Okay.
Insane project. I'm so proud of his growing as a UK artist. He has a totally different flow. You know, the songs like Love a Little More or Love a Little More, something like that. That's one of the songs. There's another song called Glocky that's on there. It's just crazy production, crazy music, and it's just amazing. I also discovered a New York rapper named Busy Banks. A lot of people probably already know who that is. He's one of the pioneers of the kind of the drill movement.
I heard about him. He's all over. He's all over social media right now.
Yeah, he's a bro's music.
So he's not from Chicago?
No, he's from New York. He was with Pop Smoke before Pop Smoke was popped.
Oh, never mind. Okay, got you.
He was around Pop Smoke. I mean, he may be from somewhere else, but from what I'm getting, I think he's from New York. But yeah, he's amazing. Wordplay is crazy. His pen is crazy. Very versatile artist.
I look for that.
So yeah, if you want to check him out, A lot of you may already have known, maybe a lot of you don't know, but he's a very crazy drill artist, and dude can spit. Like, he can rap.
Yeah.
Like, my mind is blown how crazy this guy can do his shit. So
yeah.
All you imposters like CJ, the artist, I heard about that man's an imposter. But anyway,
I heard. Yeah, we gon' leave
that man's straight up imposter.
I heard about that.
So man. And Lil Mosey, don't quit your day job. That's all I gotta say about that. Okay, so
anyway, so on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in to LTAI with June and Chris. Be sure to check us out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other platforms for sure. Be sure to also check us out on social media on Twitter and Instagram at RealLTAI_. That's REAL LTAI_.
And don't forget to support Black-owned businesses.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So
indeed. Oh yeah, and also be on the lookout for our artistries. Yeah. People of color for sure, POCs, man. But also be sure to check us. Stay tuned for our music as well. Be on the lookout for the Dark Room Late Nights mixtape. By your boy Chuma Oni. Yours truly. I'm excited, y'all, and I hope you guys will be excited as well. So
we'll see you guys next time.
Till next time, y'all.
Later.